Well, this is a very special Saturday. 67 degrees, slight wind out of the southwest, 5 to 10, clear skies in the forecast. This is the 55th meeting between these two. It was an annual get-together between 1949 and 2002. Kentucky's last win in 1999. LSU won the toss. They have deferred, so Kentucky will get the ball to open the football game. Josh Jasper will kick off. Derek Locke and Keenan Burton are the two men deep. Jasper, it's taken by Keenan Burton, and he returns it to the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Danny McCray. And the lineups presented by Applebee's. Andre Woodson, 65%. Gaudy stats, 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Offensive line, Christian Johnson gets the start at left guard, and Zip Duncan, normally on the left side, moves over to the right side. Burton and Steve Johnson are the wideouts. Raphael Little, the leading ground gainer on the team, not playing today because of a thigh bruise, and Tony Dixon gets the start. Here's Woodson, lofts it out. That's Dickie Lyons. They opened with 3 wides, and Dickie Lyons gives Kentucky a first down. Defensively, #1 defense in the country. Up front, awesome front four. Jackson and Dorsey and Favorite and Pittman. The linebackers, Sanders, Beckwith, and Highsmith. And the secondary, it's a good one as well. Zenon, Stelz, Taylor, and Jackson. And Les Miles, the head coach. 28-4 as a head coach. Here's the handoff. Dixon going left. The down marker on the far side had not been changed. That was a first down play, though it said number 2. So flag the chain gang. Now this LSU defense, Gary, is just an outstanding 11.
And everybody says the same thing about them. They not only have dominating players at each level, but they have a front four that is a mismatch to the front 5 for the offensive line. That'll be the key to the football game for Kentucky. Can they keep that wave off Woodson?
2nd and 6. Woodson, quick setup, inside slant. And Craig Stelz is there to knock it away. Crowd thought there might have been a little contact.
That is a matchup that Kentucky loves in this football game. Tammy against Stelz. Tammy is an ex-wide receiver made into a slash tight end. Stelz is a ball-hawking, leading tackler in the secondary. But if you look at the tapes in the games we've seen, South Carolina picked on them, and Kentucky believes they can also.
3rd and 6, opening series of the ball game. Out of the gun, Woodson. Timeout, LSU.
And not enough guys on the field.
We played less than a minute, and we'll be back after this. 3rd and 6 here. Jacob Tammy out. 3 wides to the right side, 1 split left. LSU with 3 down. And timeout, Kentucky. That little defensive trickeration, little shift.
Yeah, well, he was running down on the time clock. Remember, the new rule, you only get 15 seconds coming out of a timeout, and Kentucky was not ready.
Well, if you relish timeouts, you've got...
Yeah, we're on our way.
Your bonus day, back-to-back. Back in Lexington, it's 3rd down and 6. LSU makes defensive changes again during the timeout. And Woodson's out of the shotgun. He comes right, drills it. He has a man open at the 50-yard line. First down, Kentucky, Keenan Burton. The number 19 senior out of Louisville.
There are a lot of great receivers in modern-day college football, but Keenan Burton is one of the best. He has impeccable timing. Look how he saved his hands and went up and caught it at the last second. He is smooth, acrobatic, and fast.
Tony Dixon, John Connor, the fullback, back in the lineup. So also is Jacob Tamme, the tight end. He is tight to the left. Old-fashioned eye. Here's Woodson, right side, in and out of the hands of Keenan Burton.
Jinxed him.
Yeah.
That's part of the game plan. If you're looking at Kentucky's game plan, you've really seen it unfold. They're going to simulate the snap count early to try to get a pre-read, then look over to the sidelines, get another call. They're going to half roll the quarterback so that LSU doesn't know exactly where the ball's being thrown from. And then lastly, a lot of quick passes. We will see this unfold.
Well, Tamme is out. Demario Ford is the fourth wide receiver on the field now. Hand off to Dixon. He comes right and gets a tough 2. Well, time now for Gary's game points. How do you see this one?
Well, this is a scientific wild guess here. We're going to give it. There's a missing word there if you know what it is. Okay. LSU's defense must pressure Woodson. That kind of makes sense when you got this much of a quarterback. LSU's offense, use your depth. You got a lot of players, big game. I think Williams and Scott will have big games. Kentucky must match physical play for LSU, and the offense, I think, has to have a semblance of a balanced running game.
3rd and 8 here across midfield. This is the opening drive of the ball game. 4 passes, 2 runs. Here comes the pressure. And Pittman almost got there. The catch is not complete.
Remember, there's no force out in college football. Now, that might be a play that would be a judgment call in the pro game. But in college game, if the defender knocks the receiver out, we'll see it right here, knocked out of the playing field. Might not have come down anyway, but that is a legal play and an incomplete pass.
Tim Mastey is on to punt. He's averaging 42-2 this year. Junior from Murray, Kentucky, and Jared Mitchell is back to return the punt. He's at the 10-yard line. Mitchell has returned only 4 so far this season. That was a position occupied by Early Doucette, the outstanding wide receiver. This one takes an LSU roll, goes into the end zone. It'll come back to the 20. Well, if you want to talk about this century's All-American hero, it's Jacob Hester. He'll be on the field when we return. Commonwealth Stadium, Lexington, Kentucky. Matt Flynn, senior from Tyler, Texas, bothered by a high ankle sprain, suffered in the second quarter of the second game against Virginia Tech. Black, Johnson, Helms, Hitt, and Stewart, the offensive line. The wideouts, LaFell and Mitchell, Jacob Hester, Quinn Johnson, the running backs, and the tight end, Richard Dixon. First down, 10. 2 wides to the right side, and the backs in the eye. Hand off Hester. Starts left, cuts back right. Out to the 24. Defensively for Kentucky under new coordinator Steve Brown, Jarman, Peters, Pryor, and Lewis up front. The linebackers. Maxwell gets a start for Johnny Williams out with an injury. Woodyard is the best of the bunch. And in the secondary, Ashton Cobb gets a start for the injured Marcus McClinton. 4 starters out with injuries for Kentucky in this ballgame. 2nd down and 6. Out of the spread this time. 4-man Kentucky rush inside to LaFell. LaFell has had problems in the last couple of weeks dropping the football.
Well, and it's led, at least last week against Florida, slow starts. LaFell dropped one early. Matt Flynn threw one behind LaFell early. And the last, Tulane and Florida, LSU got off the slow starts in both of those football games.
They were up 10-9 against Tulane before winning, finally prevailing 34-9. Now Demetrius Byrd and Chris Mitchell are on 3rd down 6. Here's Flynn. Flips it out left side. Catch is made by Jared Mitchell. But that's far short of the first down, so 3 and out for LSU.
Well, I'll tell you, Corey Peters put a hit on Matt Flynn. Look at this. Oh, my. Right on the knees. That was a huge hit. That one will be remembered. And boy, I'll tell you, you get hit like that on a quick pass, you're thinking about it.
Patrick Fisher, who has had an outstanding season, 44.6 for the year, sends this one up, and the wind catches it. Keenan Burton calls for the fair catch, makes the grab after the 43-yard punt. Both teams have had the ball once. Kentucky gets it for the second time. Andre Woodson, bit of an unusual throwing motion.
Well, I don't get caught up in throwing motions because I remember back just a couple of years ago, a lot of the experts were saying Vince Young with this awkward elbow below the shoulder throwing motion was going to inhibit him. I think he's doing pretty good. But watch the critique on Andre Woodson. It's that he drops the ball below his elbow. Nose of the ball is absolutely pointing up in the air, and then he releases it nice and high. The thing you worry about, because in the NFL, guys come from behind and knock that ball loose. He might have to tighten it up a bit.
Randy Sanders is his quarterback coach. One-time quarterback coach at Tennessee, as well as the offensive coordinator. Here's Dixon. Quick plunge. Well, Alabama Ole Miss underway down in Oxford. It's scoreless here. Second offensive set now for the Wildcats, and they've got a 2nd down and 6. Right side, Dixon. And he's across the 40 out near the 42. You know, Raphael Little averaging over 100 yards per game, suffered a thigh bruise earlier this season that's bothered him for 3 games, and he is out today, as is Alphonso Smith, who's listed as the number 3 tailback, but they do have depth at this position.
They do.
With Tony Dixon.
Yeah, we'll see Derek Locke, also a freshman that's provided valuable yards also.
3rd and 2.
There's the simulated snap again to see what LSU is going to do.
Quick setup. Woodson, right side. Caught. No, incomplete. Burton could not come down with it, and player is down. It's Woodson who gets helped up from Glenn Dorsey. Well, you knock him down, you bring him up.
Yeah, that was a stop fade right there, thrown to the outside, and Zenon did a great job of sticking with that play. Boy, Dorsey was right. It was a quick drop like that, and Dorsey's right in your face. Isn't that something?
And 4th and 2, Mastay is on for the 2nd time. Jared Mitchell moves up now at the 15-yard line. First punt, 48 yards. LSU with a return on all the way. Here's Mitchell heading right. It's over his head, and for the 2nd time, takes an LSU roll. Touchback, it'll come out to the 20. Get complete coverage of all the day's action and watch an exclusive SEC College Football Highlights show tonight on CBSSports.com.
How does that saying go? Derek Locke that time, he was the gunner on that punt. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's twice that Mitchell has faked that catch and got LSU out to the 20-yard line instead of being backed up inside their 10.
Trendon Holiday, 5'5", 160-pound speedster, is in the backfield. And Demetrius Byrd is into the wideout. Now they shift. Hester is the fullback on this formation. He's to the right, and Flynn goes from the gun. They hand it off to Holiday. Caught, breaks the tackle. He's got Flynn out to try and like a block. Byrd with a clip. Demetrius Byrd hit from behind. Well, they used to call it a clip years ago. This will be an illegal block in the back.
That was an interesting call. There was an official right there on the play that did not call the block in the back, but the side judge way down about 25 yards downfield, by the way, on the Kentucky bench, called the play. The guy's right there doesn't do it, and the guy from farther back. I at first thought he got him cleanly on this play. Let's see. Bird, does he get it? He didn't get his helmet across the body. Right. I think that's a good call.
Yep.
Legal block in the back. Number 2 on the offense. The penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
And so the replay of the first down, it's at the 21-yard line. Or it should be the 20. Oh, no. I beg your pardon. They marked it off. Yep. Exactly. They hadn't marked it off yet. So it's 1st and 19 at the 11. Keelan Williams, number 5, replaces Hester as the running back. 4 wide receivers. Flynn back, flips it out. Keelan Williams. Demetrius Byrd almost blocked in the back again. And on the sidelines, having missed the last 4 games, Early Doucette.
Interesting watching warm-ups, and you've seen LSU go with 4 wideouts, and Early Doucette is not in there. Clearly, he's their best receiver. He lined up with the number 1 group all of warm-ups, trying to kind of fake out Kentucky to think that he would play. Clearly, he has not practiced enough, and Les Miles doesn't believe he should play in this football game.
2nd down and 14. Ryan Perilou is in now. We talked about the 2-quarterback system employed by Les Miles, and here is Perilou. He hands it off to Hester, right tackle, about 3 yards. And for more on Early Doucette, let's check in with Tracy Wolfson.
Yeah, that's right, guys. As you mentioned, he was out practicing this week. He was out during warm-ups, but Les Miles told me yesterday he won't play much, but he may get in there for the right play at the right time. So for the 5th straight game, expect to see him on the sidelines acting as another coach. We've already seen that several times today.
All right, Trace. Groin pull in practice after the 2nd game. And he is their best receiver. 3rd and 11. Flynn back in. Stunts defensively. Flynn will keep it. You know, Les Miles said yesterday at the walkthrough, he expected big things from Flynn today. For the first time in 4 weeks, he did not show effects from the high ankle sprain.
Yeah, this was a called quarterback draw. And Les was kind of tried to be a little funny. He says, I looked over in practice and I saw this guy out there running around and throwing the ball, and I said, who's this new quarterback? And Matt Flynn, he said, is going to be the old Matt Flynn we saw early in the season. You saw it right there on the quarterback draw.
He comes up short, Fisher, and there's a block in the back, and it's ruled a legal block. Wow, and a Kentucky player is down.
It's that 3-man protection scheme, and someone was coming clean. I think it was David Jones was coming clean from the outside, and he got blocked. You could block people in the backfield like that. That's a clean hit. Almost into the punter, though. I thought they might call running into the punter on the play, but he was blocked into him, and that's that. I think Quinn Johnson is the guy who got the block, number 45 right there. Well, watch, coming across, yeah, that's a play that you can get away with in the backfield like that.
David Jones.
Right into him, huh? Almost right into him.
And it did affect the punt. The punt went only 21 yards. Nothing on the return. So Johnson saved the block as David Jones still being helped. Sylvester Kroom has put his team together this year.
Seems like he's in the same position Rich Brooks was a couple years ago, turning that program around slowly. Will they have patience with him like Kentucky did with Brooks?
David Jones walked off unassisted, and on first down, the flip out to the right to Dickie Lyons, number 12. Well, Rich Brooks came in to replace Guy Morris. The program was on probation in the NCAA. His first year, he had 68 scholarships, and he told us he had one player on the roster who could run under 4.5 in the 40. And they stuck with him. Mitch Barnhart, the athletic director, despite 4-7 seasons, 2-9, 3-8, and they turned it around, it seems, last year with an 8-5 record. And he now, not so coincidentally, says he's got 15 guys.
That's right. That's a big difference. You can compete with 15. You can't with one.
Woodson back. Deep right side. Burton's down there. Double coverage. Burton. Incomplete. That was so close.
This was into a corner blitz. When you're running a deep ball into a corner blitz, you beat the coverage. You knew it was coming. You can see it. It's the safety, Curtis Taylor, who thought it was going to be a short pass, and that ball should have been caught right down to the 1 yard. And what an excellent call by Kentucky, anticipating it and having a key drop. You got to make those plays. You got a chance to beat this team. You got to make those types of plays. That's 2 drops already by your number 1 receiver.
And so on 3rd and 5, Woodson back, pumps, finds Lyons, first down at the 30-yard line.
How about that protection? Could this Kentucky team give their quarterback time? Ooh, they got him stunting early. The snap count caught LSU off balance, and that's what allowed Lyons to get open, matched up again on a safety. Huge part of the game plan, receivers on safeties.
Dickie Lyons Jr. with a 14-yard grab. Here's Woodson going right side, and there's a tangle with the cornerback, Danny McCray.
Yeah.
And no flag. Intended for Lyons.
Now, to be fair, Danny McCray is somewhat of a blend player. He's part cornerback, part safety, and they feel very comfortable with him being on the field. LSU does, and you can see the job he does. Was the ball in the air when Lyons got jammed? The officials say no. Woodson thought it was different. You can't call that ball overthrown, but did he jam him before the throw? It's a legal play.
Now 2nd down and 10. Kentucky with their 3rd offensive set. We're scoreless midway through quarter number 1.
You got Tammy matched up with Highsmith.
Handed off. Dixon to the 21-yard line. Well, Andre Woodson really took hold of this team last year after they lost to Louisiana State 49-0. Really against his nature, because he's quite calm. He called the offensive team together in the locker room and said, this is not who we are. This is not who we are going to be. And he's led them to 10 victories in the 12 games since then. Here's Dixon, left side. Woodson also, Gary, was demoted to the 2nd team in the spring battle with Curtis Pulley.
And that was the spring prior to last year's game that you're talking about. And you know what I think about that story is, when you look at his teammates, I think they were waiting for him to do that. I mean, that was his final step, that he really became the leader of this football team. They all knew. All the guys we talked to, Vern, said he changed. He's a different Andre Woodson. We knew he had the talent. Now he's the quarterback.
Well, they've used 1:45 on this current drive. You see 17 scoring drives of 2 minutes or less. First down and 10 after the last play. Here's Woodson with a half roll right, and it's too wide for Dickie Lyons Jr.
You can kind of see the game plan unfolding still for Kentucky because of the half rolls, because of the play actions, the shotguns, the simulated snaps. Another penalty on LSU, by the way, as you saw it right there. They've gotten, it looks to me like LSU is a bit sleepwalking on defense. Now, what do you do if you're Bo Pelini to get them out of it?
Lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll replay first down.
If I'm Bo Pelini, I blitz a little. I get him out of the run a little bit by coming after Woodson with some blitzes.
At the 15.
It'll be first down and 5.
Here's the matchup again. You've got Tammy on Highsmith right there. You got safeties back there, but that is a matchup that Tammy and the offense for Kentucky can take advantage of.
Saw the red zone numbers. Both of these teams excel inside the 20. Kentucky 27 of 29. And Tony Dixon is the running back. By the way, Jason Leger, normally the starting right guard, is back on the field, number 66. We were told he was dinged and probably wouldn't play today. Mario Ford starts in motion to provide blocking help with Dixon down to the 11-yard line. Gary Beckwith, number 48, with the tackle.
One of the matchups that Kentucky would like to just have a stalemate is when Tammy, a former wide receiver, has to block a defensive end, this time Tyson Jackson. Can he get a stalemate? Here, that's a stalemate. That's good enough to run the ball.
This is the 8th play of the drive in a scoreless first quarter. Dixon again, right side. That's going to be marked short of the 10. Glenn Dorsey makes the tackle, the All-American, number 72. Now this LSU defense prior to last Saturday night was yielding 39 yards per game on the ground. Florida totaled 156, so the average escalated to just under 60. But still very tough to run against.
You know, as much as you might preach to your team if you're LSU and Les Miles about how this is a real Kentucky team, those players all were there, and they beat them 49-0 last year. So now they spent the whole week having everybody in Baton Rouge pat them on the back. Everybody was still talking about the epic battle last week, and Kentucky, since a week ago Thursday, have been getting ready for this week. That's how upsets happen.
How much, now they played South Carolina, lost 38-23. But in that game, 2 fumbles returned for touchdowns by Eric Norwood. How much is it a benefit the extra 2 days?
I think it's huge. I especially think it's huge when you did not play your best game and you got the #1 team in the country coming. You get focused.
Dixon will be the running back. It's 3rd and a foot.
Quick count, great call.
And the mark will come inside the 10. That should be enough to give Kentucky a 1st and goal. It is. Wildcats, after they lost that 49-0 game, went on the road and won at Mississippi State. And that made them 4-4. They came back here and they defeated Georgia. Jacob Tammy, the tight end, said it was so significant he found himself in tears on the field after the game. They wound up going to the Music City Bowl and ousting Clemson and finished 8-5 a year ago. Here's Dixon again, left side. Now that game against Georgia.
Well, when you talk to the players, this is the one they talk about. They said, you know, we knew that the rest of the SEC was not going to come down to us. We had to go up to the rest of the SEC, and they did it in this game.
And the final play was an interception by Trevard Lindley off Matt Stafford. That cinched it. And they won it 24-20, and the goalpost came down.
The rollouts have been working. Will Kentucky roll out down here and try to get 7 points? They don't want to settle for 3.
Burton Lyons Jr. slot left side, and Steve Johnson is right side. Here's the change. They slip it. Dixon to the 1. Gary Beckwith with the tackle and another conversion. They're moving the ball against the #1 defense in the country.
Well, Joker Phillips is the offensive coordinator. He's up in the box. But when Andre Woodson turns around and looks around for the play call, he looks to Randy Sanders, his quarterback coach. We all know Randy from Tennessee. He's come here, done a great job, along with Joker Phillips, with Andre Woodson.
3 running backs now. Power set. Play action. Woodson rolls out. He's got a man in his face. It's tipped and caught for a touchdown. T.C. Drake, the second-team tight end. First catch, first TD catch, obviously. Kentucky leads by 6. Andre Woodson now for the season, 19 touchdown passes. Lonis Sieber with the extra point. He's 27 of 30 this year. This one is good.
Well, we called it as a rollout, and that's what happened. You're going to see Woodson roll out, and he really had 2 players wide open he could have thrown to. Stelz gets a piece of it. It's tipped back to Drake. But on that play, both Tammy, who he was throwing the ball to, and Drake, who was the trailer, could have caught it for touchdown. And Woodson says, whoo, that is not.
Andre Woodson and the Wildcats had a short field set up by the 21-yard punt, but they went 49 yards in 12 plays and chewed almost 5 minutes off the clock. T.C. Drake from Andre Woodson. Woodson was 3 of 5 on the drive.
Well, this is not Stanford knocking off USC. This is a legitimate football team here, and LSU must play at a higher level. They look like they're sleepwalking. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the kickoff from Mastay, Trindon Holiday, Keelan Williams are the deep men. They kick it right and right into the hands of Trindon Holiday with a little stutter step. He hangs on to the ball. He's down at the 21-yard line. The tackle made by A.J. Nance. Now it's time for the playbook presented by the Hartford.
Well, what's better than getting one guy wide open? How about 2 guys wide open? Here goes Tammy. Here goes Drake. And watch this, a little bootleg. We said the rollouts had been working. There's 2 players. Pick a guy. Stelz almost makes an unbelievable play on it, and it bounces right to Drake.
Charles Scott is now the running back, and Sean Jordan is the fullback. Matt Flynn at quarter. Roll right. Good downfield coverage, and he throws it away.
On Flynn, the LSU offense has lost confidence about protecting him. They rolled him out. Those early hits by the front four of Kentucky, they've lost confidence in protecting him.
Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass from Flynn. Hand off left side. Holiday. Oh, he's so close to breaking it. And this is a guy we've told you in the last few weeks, second in the 100-meter dash in the NCAA's last